So, Joel, it's lovely to see you. Thank you very much for joining us here.
Hey man, I'm so glad to see you too.
Good. So we're basically getting you in tonight just to talk about some stuff, to get to know you a little bit more about your background in voice acting, and also a bit about your background in the game because you voiced one of the characters in a game. So, I mean, who better to
Yeah.
have in the interview than the Emperor himself? So yeah, it's great to have you here, man. So basically, so first question, Joel, just introduce yourself, like your background in acting and kind of where you are and what you're doing at the moment.
All right. So I'm Joel. I'm playing the Emperor in the upcoming game Pitch Black, The Dusk Black Story, Episode 1, which I'm so glad to have the opportunity to work with you guys because it is the same, no, it's the first project ever in English that I have done. And it was basically a dream come true because I always wanted to play a video game. I mean, play a character in a video game and in English, right? And that was so amazing. But how did it start? I'm very happy. I'm very fortunate to grow up in a very creative, how do you say, household. My grandma, she was a singer. She painted. My mom, she sings as well. She paints, and she is the queen of accents. Really, like all the talent stems from her. We would always watch movies. And what we would do is we would always do impressions, like always switch characters and do the impressions. And it was always a fun time, of course. It was so hilarious, as well as different German accents. And time went on, and I thought, okay, what do I want to do? And I came to the conclusion voice acting. A couple of years later, I met a very special person. Her name's Marcy. She's a successful filmmaker, actually. And back then, she knew that I wanted to do voiceover. And they had a project in school. They did a little trailer for an upcoming film, Macbeth. She knew I wanted to do voiceover, so she gave me the mic. She gave me the lyrics. I said, do what you can. Said, okay. And I did what I could. And it turned out to be a really fantastic project. And it was like that. You speak, you hear the music, you feel the emotions, and it really gets you excited. It makes you realize that is the thing that I want to do. From that on, I was fortunate enough, I was lucky to be at the right time to meet the right people while being myself, which led to new projects. And I learned a lot on the way. And eventually it led to you guys, right? I mean, it's so crazy. I met you in Spain, basically, right? On Ibiza.
There's a crazy story about how you met Harry's mom on an island in Ibiza, and it's when we just started doing the game, like just started to come up with the idea. And Harry's mom said to Harry, I've just met this brilliant German voice actor, and you should work with him. And here we are, like 3 years later. What's that story, Joel? Tell us that story.
It was one of those crazy experiences. I mean, you can't make that up. You can't make that up. I was working on a Christmas market in Germany, 8 weeks, freezing cold. I wanted to reward myself. And I said, okay, I wanted to learn Spanish. Okay, let's go to Ibiza. Let's learn Spanish. Spanish school, 6 weeks. And it was just a normal day. We had a break. And there was a lady in the break room, in the mall, whatever. We started a conversation, and it turns out that she not only owns a lot of gyms in England, as I heard, but her son Harry worked on a video game with his company, Purple Jam, baby. And we sat together, and I remember you sent me the voice that you want to have. And I was like, I can do that. That's the voice that I can do. But I also learned that it came with restrictions because the voice that you wanted to have is a very deep, very husky one. And I basically locked myself in a room during that project because
Nice.
I learned when I speak all around the day and want to record in the evening, it wouldn't be possible because the voice would be husky, but it wasn't as crisp as we wanted it to be to deliver a fantastic project. So it was basically locking myself in the room, zipping a lot of tea, and making sure that voice is still there. Yeah. And not recording 1 hour every day. That wouldn't have been possible, 20 minutes or something like that. And we also learned from each other that not being at one place, at least back then, came with a bit of limitations because of the emails, right? So my dream is, or the goal is, that for the next project, we're going to be in one studio, and then we make the magic happen even faster.